No matter how we choose to conceptualize the unseen forces of reality, we must remain humble before the mystery of existence. Whether we speak of God, consciousness, spirit, energy, the quantum field, the Tao, or simply the unknown, every description is ultimately an attempt to translate something that extends beyond the limits of language. The map is never the territory. Human beings have always searched for meaning. We observe patterns, collect experiences, build philosophies, establish religions, formulate scientific theories, and create symbols to organize what we believe to be true. There's nothing inherently wrong with this. In fact, it is one of our greatest gifts. Systems allow us to preserve wisdom, communicate ideas across generations, and provide a foundation from which understanding can grow. The problem begins when we mistake the system for reality itself. A concept is not reality. A label is not the thing it describes. A tradition is not automatically truth simply because it has endured. Every tradition was once a new idea. Every sacred text was interpreted by human minds. Every philosophy was born from someone's attempt to make sense of experiences that often defied explanation. Our ancestors were not exempt from uncertainty. They struggled with fear, hope, suffering, love, death, and the unknown, just as we do today. They asked questions, they searched, they made mistakes, they discovered profound insights. Yet, somewhere along the way, many of us stopped seeing their teachings as invitations to explore and began treating them as conclusions that could never be questioned. When questioning becomes forbidden, growth begins to die. History repeatedly shows us that human beings have used certainty as a tool for control. Fear becomes a weapon. Shame becomes a leash. Guilt becomes a currency. Instead of inspiring people to seek wisdom, institutions sometimes encourage obedience above understanding. Whether religious, political, ideological, or even scientific, any system can become corrupted when protecting itself becomes more important than pursuing truth. Truth does not fear examination. Only falsehood demands that questions remain unanswered. Real wisdom welcomes sincere inquiry because it knows that what is true does not crumble under investigation. If something cannot survive an honest question, perhaps it was never as solid as we imagine. Many people inherit beliefs, but never truly investigate them. They defend ideas they have never personally wrestled with. They repeat conclusions without experiencing the journey that gave birth to those conclusions. It is easier to belong than to explore. It is often safer to conform than to stand alone. Yet genuine understanding requires participation. No one can awaken on another person's behalf. For those who have eyes to see, let them see. For those who have ears to hear, let them hear. Perhaps this invitation has never been about possessing secret knowledge. Perhaps it is about developing the willingness to perceive reality directly rather than merely accepting someone else's interpretation of it. Wisdom requires both discernment and humility. Discernment without humility becomes arrogance. Humility without discernment becomes naivete. Both are necessary. Every system has its purpose. A child needs structure before mastering freedom. A student needs lessons before innovation. A map is useful before entering unfamiliar territory. Systems can protect us from chaos while we develop understanding. But no system should become a prison. When a system no longer serves growth, compassion, truth, or love, we should have the courage to examine it honestly. Holding on to outdated structures simply because they are familiar is like refusing to leave a boat after reaching the shore. The boat was necessary for the journey, but it was never meant to become the destination. Growth often requires letting go of what once served us. This does not mean rejecting all traditions. It means recognizing that traditions should remain living wisdom rather than frozen monuments. Truth is alive. Life is constantly unfolding. Every generation is called to rediscover wisdom, not merely inherit it. Freedom is one of the greatest gifts we possess. Without freedom, there can be no authentic love. Because love cannot be forced, choice gives meaning to compassion, generosity, forgiveness, and faith. A programmed machine can imitate kindness, but only a free being can truly choose it. Yet freedom carries responsibility. The measure of freedom is not simply whether I can do something. The deeper question is whether my actions diminish another person's ability to live, grow, and choose. Freedom divorced from responsibility becomes exploitation. Responsibility without freedom becomes oppression. Both must exist together if society is to flourish. Perhaps this balance has always been one of the great spiritual lessons of humanity. Every action sends ripples through the lives of others. Every word plants seeds. Every thought shapes perception. Every intention influences the direction of our attention, and attention ultimately becomes the architect of experience. What we continually focus upon begins to shape who we become. This is why guarding our attention matters. It is why wisdom matters. It is why self-awareness matters. Before changing the world, we must first become conscious of the lens through which we see it. The greatest revolutions have never begun with louder arguments. They began with transformed hearts. Perhaps the deepest law woven into the fabric of existence is not domination, competition, or fear. Perhaps it is love, not sentimental love, not possessive love, not conditional love that must be earned, but the kind of love that seeks truth instead of illusion, understanding instead of judgment, courage instead of conformity, and unity without demanding uniformity. Love does not require us to abandon reason. Love asks us to use reason with compassion. Love does not silence questions. Love gives us the courage to ask them. Love does not demand blind agreement. Love honors the dignity and freedom of every soul to seek, to learn, to stumble, and to grow. Maybe this is why the wisest people throughout history often spoke with certainty about very few things, yet embodied extraordinary peace. The more deeply they explored reality, the more they recognized its mystery. Their confidence did not come from knowing everything. It came from knowing that truth is vast enough to keep revealing itself. So let us build systems, but never worship them. Let us inherit traditions, but never stop examining them. Let us seek knowledge, but never lose our sense of wonder. Let us defend freedom, but always with responsibility. And above all, let us remember that if our beliefs produce less compassion, less humility, less honesty, and less love, then perhaps it is not reality that needs to change, but our understanding of it. For if there is one law worthy of standing above every philosophy, every institution, every ideology, and every tradition, it is this: love seeks what is true, honors what is good, and leaves every soul more free than it found it.